Hi everyone, Coach Dustin here from KC Crease. I hope you're all out there doing your very best. So I posted this picture and a small snippet of the video we're going to see momentarily on my social media channels this morning on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all of which the handle is KC Crease. Please go follow if you have a minute. But the post itself got a lot of comments, got a few questions sent my way. So I thought it would be beneficial for me to expand on the topic a little bit and just hopefully give everyone some more clarity around what we're talking about when it comes to box control, which really is just figuring out what part of the net is open and what part of the net we as goaltenders need to cover. So this whole thing, and we'll get to our lines here momentarily, was started brought to me by our goalie Matthew, who's this guy in the blue jersey. And what Matthew was telling me when we were talking about our game plan and where the lesson's going to go to, on that particular day, Matthew was saying that he's having a problem with shots coming from over here, so that's, the glove side circle, and the shots were hitting him more or less in the right pad over here, and then bouncing off that pad and going somewhere in this general vicinity. So before I talk about, how to play the rebound and controlling the box and all that stuff, I'd like to make a point that if you can get your stick on the shot for an ice level shot, that is preferred to getting your pad on it 100% of the time. So we're talking about anything that the puck is on the ice or that tall. If the puck's above your blade, by all means, it's I would say acceptable to get a pad on it. It's definitely better than it getting by you. But you're going to get more control 99% of the time with your stick in terms of where that puck is being placed after it hits you. You can get it up off the glass or out of play depending on the shot and your strength and proficiency. You just get more control with your stick in terms of where that puck's going than with your pad. So if you can, and you're struggling with rebounds, you might want to look at how accurate your stick control is. And if that's a problem and you need drills to work on that, shoot me a message and I'll shoot some your way. But we understand that we're not all goalie school goalies, and sometimes things go wrong. Maybe you get screened or it changes directions, or for whatever reason, puck hits your pad. You're not able to get your stick on it, and then boom, it's out here. Guys or girl is right behind it, and look at all of this available net to shoot at. That's a lot of space to cover. So how do we cover that, and what do we do if we're in this situation? Well, the first thing we want to do is draw our net so we know what exactly the puck is looking at and what space we have to cover. So we've done this before. We're calling this the puck pyramid, where the apex is always at the puck, regardless of where the puck is. That's the point of the pyramid, and the base is going to be, it's going to start at the post, but really that base can be elevated and your pyramid can be shrunk down depending on where your goalie's positioning is. So that right there is the foundation for box control. The puck is the apex of the pyramid, and the base of the pyramid will vary depending on where the goalie is. So if we have no goalie or the goalie is on the goal line, then what you see, the blue pipes, that's the base of the pyramid. For example, if our goalie was to bring their glove to this space right here, and so let's say that's their pocket of their glove or where their blocker is, then we would know that our net is only this big, because that's the space in the pyramid where the goalie, in this particular context, brings their glove to. So I hope that makes sense. If that doesn't, then the rest of this video might be confusing. But the idea is, again, we can control the space in front of us, and we can make that space in front of us smaller for the shooter. So I asked Matt, say the rebound does pop off to where this puck is. How are you playing it? What are we doing here? So I'm going to let the play roll here, the clip roll. And you can see that first thing Matt's doing is he's going to point his blocker at it. And I say, where would you go? And he brings his blocker up here. So he thinks, I'm going to protect the net, the high net. And this is a natural thought progression. I've seen a ton of goalies do this, so in no way am I picking on Matthew, who's a really bright young kid, and I'm lucky to be working with him. But what we can see here is that there's still a ton of available nets below where his blocker is. I mean, we have roughly all this space right here. Okay? So Matthew and I talk about that. Okay, well, the puck's got to go up, right? The puck's not being shot from waist level. The puck's being shot from right here. So it's got to come up to get to this space right here where you just put your blocker. So instead of projecting it up into this area up here where you initially had it, we want to bring that blocker down. We want to attack the puck. So we want to bring that blocker down, and we want to push that blocker out, like he's doing there. I'm going to back it up just a little bit here. We're going to talk about some of those little differences here in terms of where that blocker is being positioned. So as he initially brings it out here, we want to bring it, I'm just going to play it in slow-mo here. We want to bring that blocker out front. Now we don't want to get to a point where we're losing our balance and we're not able to control our core, but if possible, we want to face that palm of that face of the blocker down, and we want to avoid having it face back in with a clip towards the net. Okay? Undo. Let's play it a little longer. So that's kind of ideal right there. Wrist rolled forward, really getting as much face of the blocker attacking the puck as possible. So as we bring it forward here, again, we don't want to lose our balance, we don't want to lose our core, but as we can see right here, his blocker is kind of askew and not square to the puck. You can see a potential bounce off that would be maybe worrisome as opposed to when he gets it completely flat here momentarily, or like we just previously saw. So next thing is we bring him, and we're just doing a real simple visualize a puck bouncing off you and going to where the puck is, and then project yourself and project your blocker forward and cover the space. So Matt brings it forward, and what happens now is, remember we saw that blocker up here initially, and we had all of that available real estate down here, which wasn't great. And now Matthew's bringing his blocker forward. So based on this positioning of where his hand is, the net is now this tall. Because if the puck goes this way and goes up from the shot here and misses him here, it doesn't make contact with the blocker, it's going to go over the net. As a general reminder from the previous box control videos I've done, say the puck goes this way or this way, it misses the net. Outside of these red lines, the puck is not a shot on goal. It's not in our pyramid, we don't have to worry about it. So at this point right here, here's the size of our net. Down to the ice, down to the ice. And so what looked like a giant gaping net a minute ago, we can see maybe, say, 3x2 as a surface area there that Matthew needs to protect. And he's got a big chunk of it blocked off with the blocker here in the middle, a little bit here with the stick. And then our open area is now all this right here. So we're not covering at this point this area here or this area here, but this space is much more manageable to cover this green box than this giant red circle that we saw earlier as perceived open net. So let's take that box away, and then basically we're just going through and establishing where that box is. So if I put that box back, let's put that crossbar back there. So we know the last time he put his blocker out, that was the height of the crossbar. He brings it up a little, but now he lowers it back down into place. Now again, at this moment right now, our crossbar is this blue, is the actual blue crossbar because there's nothing in the way. There's nothing in that space. But as Matthew projects his hands down and towards the puck, that crossbar can shrink. The net available to the shooter gets smaller, and as a result, the goalie has less surface they actually have to cover. We see right there, I'm going to go back and just highlight that just a second ago. See, Matt loses his core a little bit on this one. So I know we all want to have six-pack abs, and that looks really great, but core strength for a goaltender is super important. So as a side note, make sure you're working your core exercises out to get stronger. But we see the projection here. We'll do it a little slower. Matt projects out, loses his core a little bit, and blocker drops. So we don't want that to happen going forward if at all possible. You want to project forward to the point where your blocker is extended, but you're able to hold that posture and retract when necessary. So Matt goes forward again. Now look, he brings the blocker a little more forward this time. So now he's lowered that crossbar to right here, which means his net is even smaller than what we saw just a moment ago. He brings it forward. That time he brings it down, and that's an important difference. He brings it down, but not necessarily forward, which is hard to draw with these arrows, but I hope you all understand the difference. Bringing it down on a vertical axis is not the same as projecting it out. So really want to make sure that we're projecting that blocker or glove or whatever piece of equipment. You can use anything, but project it forward, attack that puck, take that space away from the available shooter. So I hope that everybody found this video helpful. If you have questions, feel free to email me at kccrease@gmail.com, or of course you can leave them in the thread below. As I mentioned earlier, please don't forget to follow KC Crease on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, in addition to the YouTube channel. If you like what this video is all about, then feel free to hit the like button and the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the crease.